Coming up on Around San Diego, red flag warnings and high winds raising the risk of a wildfire here. As our hearts break for LA, we are working for you, and we'll share what firefighters say you should grab if you ever need to evacuate. And doctors throughout San Diego County are seeing an alarming spike in flu and norovirus cases. Important health information ahead. Plus, the district attorney just announced members of a San Diego State fraternity are facing charges. Hello, I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. Thank you so much for joining me as I take you around San Diego. We'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and look ahead in less than 30 minutes. It's been a busy one. We do begin with those deadly wildfires still burning in parts of Los Angeles. Tens of thousands of acres have burned. The largest fires have nearly reduced the Pacific Palisades and Altadena to ash. Hundreds of thousands of people have been told to evacuate, forcing them to leave their cars and homes behind. More than 9,000 homes, businesses, and schools are completely gone. Here in San Diego County, we've seen that destruction of wildfires for ourselves. So, would you be prepared? I spoke with officials about what to put in your go bag.
Take steps now. It may help save your life and save your property if the worst were to come to San Diego.
Wildfires burn here year-round, so having a go bag is necessary. It should have the essentials and the things that are most important to you.
You are dramatically ahead if you at least think about it.
I spoke with the executive director for the City of San Diego's Office of Emergency Services about the 6 Ps to keep in mind. People and pets, papers and phone numbers, prescriptions, pictures and personal items, personal computers, and plastics. I'll explain. So people and pets are the obvious. So start with the essentials first, like non-perishable food and extra water. Then write down phone numbers and gather important paperwork. Think birth certificates, passports, and insurance information.
Assume you're going to have to leave. What are those irreplaceable documents that you need for your continuity of operation so that when the sun comes up the next day, you have the ability to go forward?
For most of us, what you'll need is right there on your cell phone, but you might not have access to an outlet. So having a portable battery like this to charge your phone is essential. Your go bag should also have any necessary prescriptions or medications. Other things that might be helpful are first aid kits and flashlights. And because you may not know when your next shower will be, even just baby wipes to be able to wipe the soot from your face and feel a little bit better.
I ask San Diego to take this extremely seriously. This is the time to make sure that you have a plan.
And if your family photos look like mine, take the time now to pick out a few favorites so that you would at least have some memories if everything else were to burn. The 5th P on our list is your personal computer. Most of our lives are online, so make sure yours gets in the bag. And finally, plastics, meaning your ID and credit cards.
The biggest thing that we can all do is get out of the way of that fire.
Evacuate when told and sign up for Alert San Diego, a countywide notification system. I'll put a link on CBS8.com. Working for you, I'm Jenny Day. Yes, sincerely thinking of LA. All right, well, doctors across San Diego County are seeing an alarming spike in flu and norovirus cases. CBS 8's Shannon Handy spoke to one mom whose 16-month-old daughter was in the hospital for nearly 2 weeks. She has the latest from Rady Children's Hospital with this family's story and a look at the numbers.
Waving to Daddy.
16-month-old Camden Alber hasn't been home in 11 days. Instead, she's been in the hospital as she recovers from norovirus, an inflammation of the stomach or intestines that causes vomiting and diarrhea.
The joy has just totally been sucked out of her. The life was sucked out of her.
Her mom, Cambridge Walton, tells me Camden's symptoms started just after Christmas. Cambridge and her boyfriend took Camden to the emergency room at Rady Children's Hospital. She was treated and released, only to return the following day.
So her blood sugar had dropped so significantly, and she was refusing all fluids. She was having diarrhea and she was vomiting, and it was just, for her age, to be that dehydrated and for her blood sugar, it was just too risky to go home.
Due to capacity, Camden was transported by ambulance to Sharp North Grossmont, where Rady Children's Hospital runs a pediatric unit.
Then this is again.
Infectious disease specialist Dr. Edmund Milder says doctors have seen a spike in not only norovirus, but also influenza and RSV. That's led to fewer beds and longer wait times in the ER. For norovirus, Rady's treated 49 patients in November and another 48 in December, more than double what the stats were last year. Countywide, San Diego health officials recorded a total of 31 norovirus outbreaks in December, more than any other period within the past 4 years.
What's contributing to the rise?
It's hard to tell. You know, we've had these, each year can be a little different. If the virus mutates a little bit, less people have immunity from previous infections. Our behavior has been very different as we sort of really changed things in the pandemic, and now we're getting back to usual routines and holiday visits.
Dr. Milder says most of what they're seeing spreads from contacts, so it's important to stay home if you're sick and practice good hygiene. Though he warns norovirus is tougher to kill, so hand sanitizer won't protect you.
So if you think somebody's got the stomach flu, hand sanitizer is not going to be a thing. You're going to want to use real soap and water to wash off the virus particles.
As for Camden, her mom is hopeful she'll be released this week, saying while it's been a heartbreaking ordeal, she's glad she followed her instincts and got her the help she needs.
It's looking good right now, which is like fingers crossed, because it's been hard to see her go through that.
Oh, yes. So we do have some good news to share. Since that story first aired, Camden was released from the hospital on Wednesday. Well, a former San Diego police officer is suing the department. Allison Ford was a decorated officer who served with the department for 17 years. She claims the department retaliated against her for making domestic abuse claims about her then-husband, SDPD Sergeant Mitchell Ford. In April of 2020, Allison called Escondido police to the home they once shared, alleging domestic violence, DUI, harassment, and that he made threats to her. According to her lawsuit, SDPD dismissed those claims and placed her under investigation for speaking out. This while allowing her husband to retain his position and weapons despite an active restraining order.
I really tried to stay, and I tried to make it work, but the environment became so toxic, I had no choice but to resign.
Yeah, Ford's attorney says while the lawsuit does not seek a specific amount, he believes a jury would rule for, quote, considerable compensation. Ford says her ultimate goal is to bring an end to what she calls a culture of cover-ups and retaliation within SDPD. And this week marked the last day in office for County Supervisor Nora Vargas. She abruptly resigned 2 weeks ago, citing personal safety and security reasons. Vargas did not show up to her final meeting as a county leader. She was first elected in 2020, the first Hispanic woman to serve on the board, and she also won re-election in November before that resignation. There now could be a special election, or the County Board of Supervisors could appoint someone to that seat. The board is scheduled to discuss how to fill the vacancy at their meeting on January 14th. We heard from some of those candidates on CBS8.com. Meanwhile, 2 other winners of the November election were sworn in this week, Supervisor Joel Anderson and Chairwoman Tara Lawson-Remer. Well, this week marked 4 years since Maya Miliete went missing. The South Bay mom of 3 vanished back in 2021, and her body still has never been found. Right now, Maya's husband, Larry, is behind bars accused of her murder. That trial is set to start in July of this year. And our local district attorney just announced members of San Diego State University's Pi Kappa Psi chapter are facing charges. The students pleaded not guilty in court. CBS 8's Alex Lai looked through that complaint and has more for us.
This is the complaint filed by the district attorney. It says 4 members of an SDSU fraternity are facing felony charges in connection to a party that resulted in one of the students getting burned. The complaint from the DA says it happened at a San Diego State Phi Kappa Psi fraternity party last February while the chapter was on probation by SDSU. It says fraternity member Lucas Cowling and pledges Lars Larson and Christopher Sapien Serrano performed a pre-planned skit at the party. Serrano is accused of setting Larson on fire. More than 16% of his body was burned, and he spent weeks in the hospital. SDSU police began an investigation. Here's what the district attorney's complaint says happened last February. It says Larson told SDSU police he was drinking in Pacific Beach with friends when he fell into a bonfire and his friends pulled him out. He said he rolled in the sand to put out the fire and had nothing to do with the party. According to the complaint, Larson then deleted messages from a group chat, sent messages saying, quote, delete the vid and don't say anything to anyone. He told Cowling he said, quote, some BS to the police. We spoke to a defense attorney who is not on the case.
You can consent to doing crazy, dangerous, harmful, injurious stunts, and it is not a crime.
He doesn't think the charges will hold up in court.
The charges are unusual charges that are not rarely prosecuted, and the burning charges really require that you burn property. A person is not property.
The district attorney is charging Cowling and Serrano with recklessly causing a fire with great bodily injury. Cowling is charged with hosting and allowing an event where minors consumed alcohol. Although Larson was the one burned, he and Cowling are charged with conspiracy to commit an act injurious to public. The fraternity president at the time, Caden Cooper, is also being charged.
These are adults. They have the right to do things to themselves as long as it doesn't endanger others, even if those things that they're doing to themselves injure themselves.
If convicted, they could face up to more than 7 years in prison. Alex Lai, CBS 8.
They are all scheduled to be back in court March 18th. The fraternity has been suspended since this incident. A defense attorney on this case, the DA's office and SDSU police declined to comment. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom unveiled his budget proposal for the upcoming fiscal year. It totals $322 billion with no deficit. This comes after 2 years of significant budget shortfalls. Newsom said he's proposing little new spending. The budget allows the state to implement the country's first universal transitional kindergarten program, making school free for 400,000 four-year-olds. But Newsom adds there is some uncertainty.
As it relates to trade policy or tariff policy or immigration policy that could radically shape and impact the debate in this country, impact our revenue stream in this state. So I'm mindful that number is a number that requires some iteration and constant reconsideration, but it's $1 billion more than was considered last year. We continue to pay down.
All right, you can read the full details of the budget proposal on our website, cbs8.com. Well, the Padres are not leaving San Diego. Whew, that's according to a new letter from Matt Seidler in response to a lawsuit by his late brother's wife. Sheila Seidler, widow of former Padres owner Pete Seidler, is suing her brother-in-laws for control of the franchise. Matt Seidler says he is deeply saddened and says her claims are entirely untrue. The letter also clarifies the family is not considering relocating the Padres. You can read that new letter and her claims in the lawsuit in the online version of this story. Coming up, a landmark high school in the Palisades community now stands in ruins because of the Eaton fire. We'll hear from one of the alumni, a San Diego Police Department assistant chief. Well, a landmark high school in the Palisades community now stands in ruins because of the Eaton fire. We are hearing from one of the alumni, a San Diego Police Department assistant chief. As Sean Takauchi opened his 1992 Palisades High School yearbook, he paused to read the handwritten messages like "See you next summer." These pages tell the story of his childhood after he moved to the Palisades at age 10 up in LA. Now he assumes his old home is gone, and Palisades High School also suffered major damage.
Got all these great memories, but now it's the devastation that you see, and it's that black and white. It's like, what's going on here? You know, how do I process this?
Yeah, it's hard for all of us. Takauchi says he last visited the school and his childhood home just last year. We also know at least 40 dogs have been brought down to San Diego's Humane Society's multiple locations from shelters across Los Angeles. The San Diego Humane Society has sent multiple crews to the area to help as well. They are bringing back dogs that were already up for adoption there down to San Diego to free up shelter space for any lost or hurt animals in the wildfires. And the Humane Society is helping despite already being well over capacity themselves.
We started this week on Monday at 125% capacity for dogs, and we're really just trying to help out right now. We want to be able to support our partner shelters in LA right now and make sure that these animals are safe.
If you're looking for ways to help, you can, of course, adopt or foster one of these animals or make a monetary donation to the San Diego Humane Society. Well, North County residents will soon have a new flight option. American Airlines just got approval to operate from Carlsbad's McClellan-Palomar Airport. The County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously for that 2-year deal, despite noise concerns from people who live nearby. American will run early morning flights to Phoenix using small jets. County officials say the service could create 150 new jobs. The agreement marks the return of commercial service to the airport for the first time since 2015. Still ahead, how the San Diego Foundation is making dreams of going to college a reality for so many students. Welcome back. Well, imagine dreaming of college but facing seemingly impossible barriers to get there. Well, now the San Diego Foundation is expanding its mission to reach students who are experiencing homelessness, in foster care, or learning English. CBS 8's Abby Black shows us how the program is already changing lives.
In Tijuana, Adasa Sanchez grew up in a modest household in San Diego where resources were scarce, but her college aspirations flourished. Today, those dreams have become a reality for the San Diego High School alum, thanks to grants from the San Diego Foundation, an organization dedicated to creating educational opportunities for underserved students.
Like sitting down and actually seeing my face right there, which I was not ready for that.
For Adasa Sanchez, seeing her face on the wall of Barrio Logan College Institute brought it all home.
We were the class of 2024, and we really did that.
Even though San Diego State was just miles from home in Barrio Logan, it felt worlds away from her comfort zone.
It was a huge culture shock.
As a first-generation college student, Sanchez found guidance at the Barrio Logan College Institute, a nonprofit preparing low-income students for higher education.
After every class, we would be like, oh, who wants to go to college? And the students would be like, we do. And I was like, I think that was manifesting at the age of 9.
Despite financial challenges, her family never wavered their support.
My family was very supportive. They never made me think that I wasn't going to go to college.
That support is being backed by the San Diego Foundation. Last year, the nonprofit awarded $5 million in scholarships to 1,200 students, including Sanchez. Now they're setting their sights on an even more ambitious goal, reaching students experiencing homelessness, those in foster care, and English language learners.
These are students that our data shows us are the least likely to graduate from high school and even less likely to finish college.
The need is clear. The California Department of Education reports that last year, only 62% of homeless students in San Diego County graduated high school.
There are plenty of challenges for them. If we can come in through our partners with these nonprofit organizations and create for them an easier pathway, show them how they can accomplish their dreams, we are a better community for having done so.
For Sanchez and her classmates, those dreams are now reality.
It might have been a long and tedious process, but we did it. We had people going to Berkeley, UCSB, some people from SDSU, some people went to community college, but I'm we're really we're doing this.
In Barrio Logan, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Truly inspiring. Thank you for the good work they're doing. That will do it for us. Thank you for your time as well. Thanks for staying informed. For continued fire coverage, just head to CBS8.com. I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.